Welcome to Fighters Drinking Coffee. We have our good friends Nate Craig and Asim Faez from the Strong AF podcast with us. We enjoyed doing the crossover episode so much, and it seems like you guys did as well on the listener's side. So, guys, welcome back on the show.
Thanks for having us, man. Excited to be here.
So, I think we have some questions that came across both of our areas of question collection, discords, and
our realms of
from
influence.
people. Yeah, like I think we collected a few different questions around the world. I don't know, from people. Some might be from around the world.
Definitely around the world.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Technically around the world.
We are technically a globally distributed podcast. Shout out to Berlin in London.
And like I think Slovenia or something.
Oh, dude, it's fucking all over.
You guys got some viewers over there as
we
well?
got some random
There's
everywhere.
Like, yeah.
We got some.
We got a guy.
We got a guy over there.
We got a guy
in New Zealand.
We got a
people in
guy.
different area
We got
codes,
a guy in Europe. All right.
Hey, shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to
Europe.
him. Yeah, so I mean, I'm happy to start with whoever's questions. I mean, if we want to just knock out one real quick from our Discord here, shout out to Insung for dropping some questions to us. But so micro goals, right?
Yes, micro goals. Micro goals.
So we have micro goals both in BJJ and in the weight room.
Being a bad boy.
I'm sorry, guys. We're just so happy to be here. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry, viewers. That's my bad.
But so both
Micro goals.
Micro goals, both in BJJ and in the weight room. And like, how does that differ, right? They're very different atmospheres, like, and different approaches. There's a lot less. You have things that you can quantify in the weight room that you don't really have like numbers associated with BJJ the same way you do with lifting. So like how you approach these things is a little bit different. So like, let's start on y'all's end.
Yeah. I mean, I think just a base level differential between the two is in the weight room, you're going for attribute acquisition, whereas on the mats, you're doing knowledge. So that technical acquisition timeline, I think, is just way different and how long someone spends. Because on the mats, you guys can speak to this, I'm assuming is you're not really developing attributes on the mats, right? For some people, you might have to.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I think like it's a technical knowledge, whereas in the weight room, it's attribute. The technical knowledge is to a point to keep you safe and keep you within the realm of that lift. So I think how you coach and how you develop an athlete in the weight room is a different timeline for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Can you repeat the original question, Mike, real quick?
Yeah, so the question is, it was more of a broad topic. How do you set micro goals? I mean, specifically to avoid BJJ, burnout in BJJ, but then also just he kind of framed it within it's harder to quantify given the unpredictable training partners and sessions versus the more control and structure that you have when lifting.
Right.
So, so like those two different things, how they play with each other, we kind of framed it right there.
Well, I think kind of with micro goals, and that's enough for me to kind of go off of. I think when it comes to, I took one jiu-jitsu class because I told you boys that I was going to. Loved it, had a lot of fun.
We have photographic proof of it too.
It's true.
I got a video actually.
Yeah.
We'll release that. Maybe we'll add that as a thumbnail.
Yeah. But for the gym side of things, I think Asim and I have talked about it multiple times on our podcast. Those micro goals are really, they help keep things fresh, little bursts of inspiration, and it can vary. Whether it's adding more weight onto the barbell, if it's pausing a rep with something, there's so many different variations of applying those micro goals. But I think it really varies person to person, and it's not always about putting more weight on the barbell.
Yeah, I think that question can kind of be dissected into two sections. One is like the actual micro goals and what does that mean and how to actually leverage that. The other side is how do you avoid burnout? Because they do have crossover, but they are individual.
Right.
And I would say like the micro goals, just like you said, it helps bring motivation because there's something that we were talking about. I was talking with another gym owner as well recently. I think we talked on one of our last podcasts, which is laziness versus lack of motivation.
Right.
I think a lot of times people mistaken laziness for lack of motivation. And you can use micro goals, small little goalposts along the track to keep people engaged in the game. It's like a video game, right? You have those side quests that keep you going on a long campaign. I think that'll help a lot. And that's something you can leverage on both sides, on and off the mat, and in the weight room, to keep people engaged and going forward. Because if you have them focused on a macro, it's gonna be tough. And at least in the weight room, there's numbers. It's definitive. Did I add 5 pounds? Did I add 10 pounds? Did I lift more? Can I do this lift now? Whereas on the mats, everyone theoretically is moving at a relative similar pace, right? So it's sometimes hard to really feel like you're getting better. If I also think this is where cross training I think is beneficial, because if you're always training against the same people all the time,
you're going up at the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the burnout part is interesting too, because my initial reaction to that was like, all right, well, there's 2 versions of burnout. There's like physical burnout, but I get that this is a little more on the psychological side.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's what we're all.
Would you say the psychological happens way more often than the physical? Because I rarely see the actual true physical. I think people mentally actually think they're burning out, but it's all in the mind.
For sure. Yeah, definitely, man.
Especially if you're keeping like the same schedule over and over, and like when you're really just grinding it out, and you can very easily get in your head and like just get worn down by just the constant repetition, right? Like you really get bored almost.
100%.
Yeah,
bored and exhausted.
Think about I think about like a bodybuilder. Like imagine you wanted to be an IBJJF pro or like Mr. Olympia or something like that. That's your macro goal. If that's your macro, do you know how long that's going to take? It takes a ton of work, years and years and years and years and years. And imagine never having a win that whole time. You need to sprinkle in little micro goals. Hey, my biceps, 1/2 inch bigger than it was. Cool. There's a little micro goal that keeps you kind of going, sort of thing. I'm curious for you guys, what would be those micro goals for like a jiu-jitsu athlete?
Also, I'm curious too, from you guys as coaches on the mats, do you guys notice a difference in the athlete after you give them that magical piece of tape and how their resolve is on the mats soon after? Because if that is the indicator, like that little marker, that little badge of achievement is what helps them get motivated, they could probably find other ways to give themselves their own theoretical versions of a tape. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
I think if you've given them something to work, if you have expressly spoken with this person and given them something to work towards, like, and they see themselves accomplishing it, and then they receive that thing gets so much weight to it too, because they're like, oh shit, like I figured out the thing I was asked to figure it out. I learned it. Like, yeah, like when it's actually created from a goal. Sometimes it is from time, and like there might not have been an established goal, or they've been creating it on their own. I mean, yeah, like it does help people. It gives them a marker of their progress, and people like that, right?
Yeah.
Like people when they have that marker of progress and they know those milestones, it helps keep them motivated, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is a unspoken micro goal. Like it keeps you from burning out if you know that there's somewhere you're moving along the path versus just sitting and spinning in circles.
And I think this is also like a coach and athlete issue. It's not just the athlete, because like the recognition you guys give to the athlete has so much weight. So just being able to like recognize, like, hey, you are making better. Oh, the way you just did this thing, right? Like for us on the lifting side, or physique side, it's like when we tell them, or we measure out their body fat or their weight, or they do a movement, it's like, dude, the way you just did that, so much better. You just handle all this workload, and they're dead at the end of the workout. And then you say, hey, but let's look at what you did 2 weeks ago. You wouldn't have even survived this workout 2 weeks ago. You've clearly gotten better. That kind of feedback, I think, helps people be like, oh, perspective. I guess it really just comes down to just reframing the perspective now that we're saying it out loud.
Well, to address your question, I definitely notice before, then there's the during, and then the after of promotions and stripes. The attendance goes up a little bit more. The excitement is there. It's a morale boost. Shout out to the Art of War. It's a morale boost for the troops to say, all right, sweet, like we got a thing. And it's like a bit of a goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if that might not even be like micro, even though a stripe, you know, you can call it what you want.
Yeah.
But it is a goal. And so I think I see people come in and they are like, they're lifted by it. It's cool to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you do it long enough, like you can, I don't want to say I overlook it, or I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years. Like I've got lots of stripes, but it's cool to see. Like people get fired up about it, man.
Not just the people that got promoted either. It's pretty cool to see like the other people get fired up afterwards, like not just the guys who got stripes and belts, because everyone else like sees.
Man, I want that.
And they're like, I want to be.
Yeah,
I
they
want
want
to get
that feeling.
belt. I want to be that guy. And then they try to do whatever those guys are doing, right? So, I kind of touched on another topic that came through, also from Insung.
I'm gonna get kind of. We got micro with it. I'm gonna get nano with it. So,
man.
boys, we're talking about like, getting that magic.
Is nano like big?
Huh? Nano's even smaller.
smaller.
We're talking about nanobots, viewers. So we talked about that magic piece of tape, right?
Uh-huh.
So that would be kind of, I would consider like a micro goal. You know what I mean? What about in between getting those pieces of tape? What, as a jiu-jitsu athlete, can you consider, or what can your students think of as micro goals? Because their opponents are constantly binging.
This was where my mind initially went with the micro goal question, which was like, and if it's the end song, I think it is, and I'm 99.9% sure it is. He and I train together, and like we have micro goals within the martial art that we work on, half guard, for example, because, and I think this is part of the heart of the question, because there's so many things you can do in jiu-jitsu. There's so much, it's overwhelming. And when you're a white belt, and you're kind of at the bottom of the totem pole. You are getting better, but like you probably constantly feel like you're behind everyone else, even if you are rapidly gaining on people. It helps to have like small things to say, hey, look, you're getting better at everything. I always tell guys, just be on the mat. Just stay with it, which kind of gets to what we were talking about earlier, where it does get monotonous. Like Mike said, like you have like a program, a routine or whatever. And like everyone's busy, everyone's got jobs, people have families and stuff like that. And, your window for training might be really small. Therefore, like you map out, but yet like people want to be on the mat all the time. So like, hey, I can do this 55 minutes Monday through Friday or whatever it may be. So when at the bare minimum, this is like, it's the dry part of it, but it's the discipline. Again, shout out to the art of war. You being in the room is the most important thing, but just probably like lifting, where it's like, just keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. But nonetheless, like people they want a little bit more than that. So that's where you say, all right, here's what we're going to do for the next month. Just get good at this one thing in half guard.
So what you're kind of saying is
you can break it down into like simpler goals. This person in 1 month isn't going to master guard.
It's a question on this.
But we can be like, hey, look, dude, like we're going to try to get to half guard. We're going to collapse our weight. We're going to do this one thing that, pierces you through to side control. You're going to get your guard pass from that thing. That's going to be our project. And there's so many things. It's like if you properly place those things in front of the person you're working with, you're always giving them like a new challenge. Because like white belts or not, like you give them the instructions, they'll do it, which is pretty cool. And I think that's like a fun thing for people to realize, like, rather than trying to do everything all at one time, I got better at this one thing. I lasered in on it. And I think there's like also that realization when you introduce them that you're like, hey, look, if you pick a goal, micro goal, and you focus on it, you can achieve it. And then they're like, oh, fuck, dude, sweet. Like, what's the next thing? And so I think you can keep that burnout at bay by being engaged with students. And there's one of the challenges, you have so many students. And some people are pretty good at being proactive and like talking to you and be like, man, what should I be doing a little bit more? I get that question all the time. Like, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? People probably ask you.
Yeah.
And and you can often give them an answer. But like you want to know a little bit more about the person to understand like where they're at, what they're doing. So it's a little more consultative.
Gotcha.
So something that's helped me in the weight room that I started bringing to the mats, I'm curious to know your opinion on this, is because it's, once again, monotonous. After you're doing it for so long, I've been lifting 18 years, and specialized in 3 lifts over that 18 years. It's like I'm really just doing 3 things for 18 years
better
straight.
at it.
Better and better.
Yep.
So for me, it's like, obviously there's the goal of the session. Like the session was structured and this is what it is. But then I go into each one with a little micro mini game in my head of like, okay, I want my bracing to be better. I want this position to be better. I started bringing that onto my, because I'm notorious for having like lifting and mat ADD where like I'll burn out or just get bored. I need things to be going. Otherwise my brain's just like in a different stratosphere. That's just why like seminars are hard for me sometimes. I'll be at a seminar and I won't remember half of it because I fell asleep. Mentally, I just like, I'm in a different room. So for me, what I found was like, I took that onto the mats, and regardless, independent of what was taught that day, I'm still doing that thing. But the game I'm playing in my head is legs. Obviously, we're on this leg kick right now. Is hands and butt on the floor, hands or butt. Get every opponent's hand on the butt on the floor. That is my precursor before I do anything. Now I can play jiu-jitsu. So
There you
with
go.
that in my mind, that keeps things fresh because now if I do that every time, every roll, no matter what happens in the class, in my mind, okay, box checked, got to win. Now we just build off that layer. So I find like micro things like that just helps like gamifying it in your head because like you guys do like games and stuff like that and structure. That's a whole different subject in itself.
We just
But-
talked about it, but
Yeah. But
so
like
excited.
almost like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, if gamifying this actually makes shit fun. Now, how do we then leverage that on both sides? And I think it's very possible.
It breaks the pattern a little bit too,
Yeah.
right? Because like you said, like you do the same thing over and over again for 18 plus years. You gotta mix it up a little bit.
You said something, Scott, that kind of stuck with me. I'm thinking, what are these tangible micro goals that athletes, what can they latch onto to keep stuff fresh? And while you were talking, I was like, you know what? He's right. Showing up. How about that as a micro goal? You showed up.
Get to class.
Yeah. And what do your parents tell you for those of you going off to college? Just go to class. If you go to class, you'll probably be fine. Why? Because if you actually take the time to go there, you'll probably end up learning something. So even just showing up can be a micro goal in itself. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, showing up sometimes is the hardest part, but
Yeah, absolutely.
for real.
One, if
You got to do it. You got to pay the troll toll.
Yeah. You know, that
Want
boy's
the baby.
soul. If you go into it and your goal is just to get better, like that's a super broad goal, right? Like you're never going to measure that you got better
Mm-hmm.
in any reasonable amount of time because everyone else is getting better. Like
yeah,
we
that's like
talked
an
about.
unspoken thing. Like you want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you say, like, I always go into and I pick like some problem if I've been rolling, like I go and train with a bunch of different people. If I'm running into some specific hurdle when I'm rolling with someone, I'll go back and say, all right, like we were just talking about a mutual friend of ours,
Mhm.
Robbie. And so like he's really good at one specific, like at a very specific like chain of attacks. And rather than try to troubleshoot it within his, I could sit there and try to troubleshoot it while rolling with him, or I can go back and find someone and get someone to start in that same starting position
Mhm.
and then try to engineer my way out of it and say like, all right, my goal is to beat whatever starting point, or, hey, I'm running into a catch point on, or, into a hurdle, whatever fucking, thing you want to use for that. But I'm running into some sort of roadblock here when I'm trying to do like a body lock pass. Like, it's like, people keep kind of catching me at this one point. Like that's where I'm kind of getting stuck. And so then you sit there and you say, all right, I'm going to get myself to that point and I'm going to find my way around that point. So you get like super small as your goal of the thing you're going to get better at
Mhm.
versus trying to like, I'm going to master guard. Cause that's like you said, that's a really big goal.
You're not going to do that in a class.
Yeah. But you can sit there and over like 2-3 weeks, you can just peck away at one very specific move within a move and get to the next point and then get to the next point until you're finally like breaking apart a whole sequence of moves.
Mm.
Mm.
Interesting. Actually, that kind of, speaking of micro goals and stuff in general, we were kind of talking about it earlier. And the question came up, are you able to tell if somebody is going to be able to be successful just by the way they kind of carry themselves, talk, or I forget the exact phrasing of the question, but are you able to tell if somebody's going to be a successful person or student kind of just from an initial interaction?
Yeah, I think we were saying, are there specific attributes or I guess even broader than that, are there specific things about a person that you can tell, personality attributes, physical stuff? For me, a big one's just general grit. If somebody is, you could even call it stubborn, but somebody is specifically like hard-headed, stubborn in a good way, right? Like they are willing to be bad at something and will keep trying and keep going until they are good at it. That person will normally be more successful than someone who is naturally talented but doesn't put in the work.
So that tenacity.
Yeah. Like
Gotcha.
there's plenty of people who are naturally talented athletes that they're just too good for their own good, right?
Mhm.
Like they're too talented for their own good that they get away with stuff and then they fall behind everybody else because they don't put in the work or they don't try or they're not actively trying to learn. I'm not a naturally gifted person at the same level as a bunch of other people, but I've always had to put in the extra work. And that's what gets, that's what got me to be more successful versus like because honestly, if I was like, I skipped tons of classes in school because I was just able to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And so so if I was just naturally a ultra gifted athlete, I would probably slack off because it'd be like, oh, well, this is easy for me. I'll just show up every once in a while and put in the amount of work I feel like doing and then move on. But I can't do that because one, I'm smaller than everybody else. So like, that alone is something that gets people that is something I look for. Like if I see that in somebody, if they keep showing up, even though they're getting beaten all the time by people who have been there a shorter period of time, that person's going to end up being more successful. They keep showing up every day and trying and getting better. So
I love that answer. I think on our end a lot for me, and then I want to hear you guys because I already know what I think. I think somebody that listens. If somebody listens, like I don't know as much about lifting as Asim. I don't know as much about jiu-jitsu as you guys. Well, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to listen to you guys so that I can save myself years and years and years of having to go through what you guys did. I have the luxury of listening and learning. So for me, I think that's mine.
I think mine kind of segues off of that, which is quality of question. You can tell if someone's going to be good at something based on the question they're asking, because the question kind of tells you what direction they're trying to actually take this thing. If they're asking you what if questions at end of class, they're just trying to beat the person that just beat them. And if they're asking you like, hey, how do I set this lift up? And then there's nothing beyond that. They're not really trying to understand why they're doing the thing. People who are asking like in-depth questions that lead to a discussion or kind of encompass a principle, I think are the ones that are going to be the most successful because they are the ones that are actually trying to understand what it is they're doing. So I think the people who are trying to ask good questions to understand what they're doing are the ones who are probably going to go the furthest because they are actually thinking about whatever it is, jiu-jitsu, lifting, whatever it is, nutrition. So yeah, I think people who are just asking 1 + 1 = 2 questions are the ones who are probably going to stay. They're going to get good, and if they're talented, they get real good. But I think the ones who become great, eventually coaches and eventually leaders, are the ones who ask really well thought out questions. Like if you're just firing off a question from the hip, rather than thinking about what is this question what kind of answer is this question gonna give me, and you don't ask that first, and then you just fire it off. Those are the people who are usually I don't think they're gonna go that far.
Are you looking for like whys versus hows, essentially? Like,
yeah, like an understanding. Like it's a less of a. I mean, for me, like I would say on the mats as a student side, I can't stand when people ask what ifs. Like, when someone raises their hand, I'm like, fuck, here comes a what if, and it's like, and I'm sure you guys as coaches are like,
we get them.
Yeah,
we get them.
Yeah, because it's like, what if? Yes, it's an indefinite amount of Rubik's Cube combinations that are going to happen. There's going to be what ifs. Understand the principle why this works. And it's the same thing like the way we just taught that seminar a week ago. We just taught a lifting seminar a week ago. And it was all principle based. Because I was like, I wonder if we only focus on the principle of why these things work and the mechanics, can we teach more people faster? And that was our best seminar. The feedback immediately afterwards, like, we learned so much. I'm like, fuck, I've been teaching you guys for years now. But by doing it this way, more people understood it. So I think, yeah.
Interesting. I like that answer. And
I'm writing that down.
Yeah. Got Scott taking notes.
The fun thing about the what if question is a lot of the time the answer in jiu-jitsu is then we would do something else.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing. It's like, okay, now we're just playing cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you understood, okay, okay, pin this guy down. Okay, what is the principle of pinning? Like, what is it to pin someone? What is that? Then now we're getting to like an answer that someone can then apply from many different positions. What is the mechanism of controlling a leg? Like, what does it mean to actually be in mount? Past the knees, below the elbows. What does it mean to be behind the back? Behind the elbows. So it's like things like that. Now I think that's when we start getting into like understanding. Those are people I think ascend faster.
Yeah, when the people actually want to understand what creates the position, not how do we do the position.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times, dude, like people will just ask questions. Take a second. You can probably answer your own question if you really think about it. If you can't answer your own question, then go to your coach, then go to your trainer. But 99% of the time, if you really think about it, you can figure it out. You can Google it. That's where the expertise comes.
100%. I think, and then the question along the same lines of the questioning, you can tell when someone's asking a question as a response because they checked out of the conversation and we're waiting for their turn to ask a question. And I think from our specialties, it's sometimes look how much I'm trying to learn kind of a thing. I always jokingly say hashtag do it for the stripe.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm doing so much, I'm asking so many questions, yes, but you're not listening to any of the answers. You're just firing off like a shotgun, different or a machine gun, bunch of different questions, but there's really nothing that you're absorbing because you're not taking what we just said and then thinking about it. Those who think about what you just said and then ask clarifying questions, not a rebuttal question, or the ones I think are going to go far. So it's the quality of the question. It really just comes down to how good are those questions. And I think Danaher said it in a podcast with that money whatever dude, Moneybird, where he said, and I don't know if that's true. This is something we can probably discuss and debate at another time, or even on this podcast. The intellect of an individual can be tied to the quality of question. Because John Danaher was saying in his degree program, he didn't learn a lot of things. He learned how to ask better questions because he PhD in philosophy.
Yeah.
So something like that.
Yeah. When I get those what if questions, to your point, I think it comes from a good place from the person.
Just for the viewers, just to see Scott's physical change.
No, there's no physical change. Maybe my face
Just
changed.
a smile. Just a smile.
A smirk.
He's become a little less reclined.
No, I'm good. But
His hat has turned forwards.
that is true. But okay, with those questions, I have to, if I'm in like a class setting, which is usually the scenario for me for this type of stuff, I'll answer it. I'm like, I'm going to give them an actual answer. Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is no. Like, it's like quick. Because I'm like, hey, look, I can't, like, in a what if, like, someone will be like, well, how do you defend it? Or they'll be like, what? They'll give you something that, like, it's going to derail the purpose of what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's their intention. Maybe they're just getting this stripe question out of their mouth. They wanted to say something. That's okay, too. I don't mind that. I think I did that once upon a time, so I'm sympathetic. Anyways, like I had a dude the other day, I think I showed single leg X, entering into it, just entering into it, like an all levels class, really basic, a lot of white belts, a couple purple and brown belts, but it's mostly like beginner, intermediate. And he was like, well, I think his question was something along the lines of like, how can I use this? He says, can this be like, what are some ways I can use this in like a white belt setting? I just said, yes, you can. I'm like, it's all of the ways, like you can do it. That was the answer. It was I could tell he probably want a little bit more. And I was like, you can. This is white belt approved. Gave him like 2 seconds. I was like, we're moving on. All right, that's the answer. The answer
He's
is you
like,
can. And he was like, yes, sir. This guy's a good student. He's awesome. Anyways, but it was a what if, basically. And I get them all the time. And I'm like, well, what do we, if how do I defend or whatever? I'm like, you defend it. All right, next question. Like, it's not to punk them, to be like, I can't do that, but you can do it.
It's not what we're going over, but you should defend it.
I get a lot of like tangential, like that's like the things that leads me towards, things that leads me towards other subjects, and I'm like, not doing that right now. Focus on the thing. Good, just keep going. Like I have to like shepherd quite a bit when I'm in these situations.
How do you have to hit them with the catch me after class? We'll
go after it.
We'll go after it. We'll go over it.
That's
then.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for real. Where I'm like, hey, look, we got there's like 30 other people in class. Like you guys are, this is if I spend another 6 minutes talking, it's gonna eat into your sparring. And I want
it's not fair to everyone else.
Right. It's fine. Like come catch me on the side, and then if it gets like, well, if it gets really technical, sometimes that's when I'm like, guys, maybe we should do a private lesson.
Hey.
For real.
I mean,
because I'm like, hey, look, like legitimately, this is, like you're asking, I can give you a full answer. Full answers, it's going to be long. And like, we might want some time to do that. Or it's like, quick, here to the point, here's what we're doing. Here's why you asked. I can give you an answer. Like I can spit something out and it'll be valuable. I try to make it valuable. You know what I mean? These people, like, they're good customers. They're good people. Sure. Like, well, I call it office hours. I usually get them after I teach an all levels class on Thursdays, and I sit around for 15 to 30 minutes sometimes. Just small talk, chat. People will have questions. There's usually a queue. So I talk to them for a minute. I'm like, you. All right, answer your question. All right, go home. Like, all right, next person. Like, what I mean? Yeah. For real. So, but I try to be like, I try to make it valuable. But some of them like legitimately are like, these are conversations or subjects. And so then I'm like, look, dude, it depends on what you want to do. Like, if the next couple of weeks when we come in class, like we have a curriculum. You may not do this exact thing a second time for maybe another week or so, but like think about this, blah, blah, blah. I'll give them like a thoughtful answer. But if it gets too in the weeds, hey, private lessons. That's what we have them for. And it doesn't have to be with me. It can be with someone else. But we were talking about, by the way, all of these things that I find interesting, back to the original question, which I believe was, what are we looking for from someone? Those are tough things. Like, my interpretation of what you were going to say, Mike, which actually basically was the same thing, is like, how willing are they to quit or unwilling to quit? Like, how relentless are they?
Yeah.
So like indefatigable.
Yeah.
But
Private school word.
I mean, have you seen my books, bro?
He does have books all over,
I've got
viewers.
books.
He's a learned man.
I got books and stuff. I have notepads. I write things out, whatever.
This man has multiple diplomas from the University
Yeah, did you guys
of
see
Kentucky.
these diplomas?
There are diplomas everywhere.
That one says
He's not
Phi-
lying.
That's Phi Beta Kappa.
He got
That meant something. I forgot what it meant. But
I think that's the
it means
honor society.
something.
It means he graduated with
Societies are
honors.
just honoring me.
Before it
Not
escaped,
enough.
it escapes from my head, Scott. You got me thinking again.
Good.
It's interesting because not one of us in this room said, "Oh, I can tell this person's going to be successful because of anything having to do with their physical appearance at all." It had to do with tenacity, listening, and being able to articulate questions clearly. Nothing with physical.
Yeah. And you can't really read these things.
It's
You can look
mostly
at a person. You
personality-based.
can look at a person and like you can, okay, I'll see like some jacked wrestler comes in. I'm like, all right, you can. I mean, look, you might be able to discern things from that. Like, hey, this guy is in good shape. He wrestled for 18 years, which probably tells you that a lot of these characteristics might already exist in that dude because he was able to do something that's difficult for that long of a time. How and why, we don't actually know until we get our hands on them, until we figure out what kind of person they are, like to what we were talking about. You're right. So like you can vet a little bit. Like you can have like, I guess you would call them expectations, but you really don't know until like the experiment starts running.
I think a lot of the things that we didn't mention are things that we can develop. The things that we did mention are things that are like part of the cloth the person's made of. Kind of like in business wise, if you were to hire an employee, it's how autonomous are they, right?
Right.
So someone who is autonomous will usually ascend to more leadership managerial positions, right? Because they can work without you having to give them direction, which then means they can probably problem solve. So things like that are like the intangibles that you can't train or can't teach are probably the traits that we are looking for, because everything else, it's our job to instill in that individual. Whereas the stuff that we can't train, those are the attributes. You need to come to us with some material.
Right.
And depending what materials you come to us with, will tell us how far we can build off of. Because it's really just like, what's the platform we're building off of? Is it like a wooden plank, or is it a giant concrete slab that's immovable? Now that really determines what kind of building we're building here. You know,
the physical attributes can be created.
Absolutely.
If they have those
solid
personality traits, right? Like if they have all of those personality traits, you can turn that person to whatever you want them to be, right? Like whatever they need to be successful. If they're willing to listen, they're willing to, and they're asking good questions, and they don't quit on you or on themselves, mainly on themselves,
Right.
that person will become whatever, with the right programming, will become what they need to be the most successful version of themselves.
That is facts. And to circle back, Scott says something, well, yeah, if this jack guy walks in the gym, looks like he's done his homework and stuff. And it's true. Your body is a reflection of your habits. It is. Now, there are certain instances, there might be health conditions and stuff that prohibit you from being able to do certain activities and stuff like that. But for the most part, cut out the excuses. Your body is a reflection of your habits. And so to your point, when a jack guy walks in, he's probably developed those good habits.
Yeah. Episode 16 right there.
Episode 16 of the Strong AF podcast, they actually talked about
I'll say
this.
one more trait too, which is a huge, actually something I think all three of you guys have in common. I've noticed is, and almost everyone that is like in that group chat with all the other owners, and also in like the management positions, is resourcefulness. The more resourceful someone is, right? Like if you're only digesting what is told to you in class or what is told to you when we are talking to you, and that is the only source you ingest from, but you don't do anything else outside of that. But the other person that person's generally going to be more successful because they're constantly trying to download information and having the ability to filter, being able to have the filter, So I think the resourcefulness is is another one I would say.
Yeah, I like that. There's accessing more information from different places.
Yeah, and how and open-mindedness there too. You have to be open-minded to be resourceful, right? Because you're sifting through different avenues. And I see you do that all the time. I mean, shit, look at this room.
It's That's an interesting one, because I also think that some of these things, like some of these characteristics or traits, that you can encourage people. You can tell them like, hey, you need to have, you got to develop the grit. You got to show up. You can tell them, but then they have to make the choice to do it.
Yeah.
It's a big one, because that's why, like earlier when I was saying like not being willing to quit and like just go to class, those are like really my answers. Because even like you said, like developing characteristics or developing traits, like you said, you will build those things, but it doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while. So you just got to show up and do it. Now that's like a painful answer to give to people, because basically that's like, hey, you just got to have to suffer for the rest of your life. Like, yeah, and get used to it. But it's like there's virtue in this suffering, so embrace it.
Mhm.
It's a tough pill to swallow. But if you I don't know, I'm not. Maybe that's why I tell them that.
But
Stay on the mat. I'm like, stay on the mat, because like, dude, it's if you can overcome that. By the way, got a great quote for you guys from one of my books. Julius Caesar said this, and I love this quote, which is that it's easier to find men willing to volunteer to die than to endure pain with patience.
Mm.
It's a good one, right?
That's a very good.
I look for reasons to say it every day.
I can check today off.
But it's true, man. It's like, how many of you guys are like ready to like just deal with like it's like uncertainty. Like, am I getting good at this? Am I bad? That's kind of the spirit of the question. It's like the micro goals, because of what Mike said, where if you're in the same room, and shout out to what you said in terms of like cross train, see different looks, because then that's a really good way to judge if like you're doing something better. Because when you train with the same people who are also getting better, it is difficult. Like that comparisons, it's tough.
Especially you have like everyone goes through their growth spurts.
That's true.
Separately too.
That's true. So someone might start like kicking some ass, like, and you're like, fuck, man, this guy's getting better than I am. You know, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, whatever. But yeah, like you have to, because the thing is, like, you are getting better. It's sort of like it's a tough thing to tell someone. They're like, I don't feel like I'm getting better. Like, you are getting better because you're doing it. That's the actual answer. It's like, just keep showing up. It's a tougher answer, but it's the answer.
I think that answer, actually, now I'm thinking about it, might be the root of all of them. Because it's like,
so
because I don't think any of the traits that we named are necessarily things that people are just born with. You develop them. So like, if someone asks, how do I ask better questions? First, start asking yourself questions and start practicing the act of asking more questions, right? And over time, you learn what type of questioning, a structure of questions lead to the answers you actually want, and then which ones give you the answers you don't want. And then you just get better at it. So I think just showing up can be applied beyond the mats to literally all the attributes, because you can develop any of these things that we just said, all these traits. But something like you said earlier, you have to make the decision within yourself first to do this, because no one can really teach you this. It's things that you need to practice within yourself to find your own way of doing it.
If you want to
your own way of resourcefulness.
If you want to get really good at asking questions, come up with a goal for what you want. If you like go in like an image generation on AI, go in with an idea of what you want that picture to look like, and ask the AI the question until it gives you the exact picture you want. Because then you will get really good at asking questions.
I have a personal bone to pick with AI.
I hate AI. Like, I conceptually, I think it's like crazy.
I jokingly tell friends,
I love making crazy pictures with AI.
Yeah.
So
I jokingly tell friends, I'm like, look, if the Terminators we end up fighting in a few years are based on this AI, we don't need to worry about finding them. Just ask them like 5 questions in a row. They'll fucking panic.
Be really polite.
Because that's funny. I too agree with you in terms of like ChatGPT or whatever. You're like, all right, I gotta make a good question. Like,
I think
to work.
On that note,
you just talked about this on your podcast.
I actually use chat and stuff a lot for work, for a ton of stuff, and it's gotten to the point where, kind of like you guys are saying, I feel like I might be using it as. There's no doubt about it. There is no argument against the fact that information being readily available so quickly. That's game changing for a lot of different fields. That being said, kind of going back to what Asim said, if you're not able to, and kind of combining what you said, Mike, if you're not able to properly articulate your questions to generate that image that you had pictured in your head, you're not going to yield the results you want. You have to be able to ask the right kind of question.
And that's where I think we talked about this in the AI episode, where the people who know how to leverage the AI as an enhancer rather than a crutch will be the ones who separate themselves. There's going to be an intellect gap for sure that is developed through AI, because there's going to be people who rely on AI and don't do the critical thinking anymore.
Yep.
And they just let their pocket AI do all the answering for them. So they don't practice the art or the skill of thinking and asking questions and being resourceful. They just go straight to chat. So now they're not thinking anymore. So there's no critical thinking practice at all in their day. Whereas others will think they'll do the critical thinking outside of AI and then use AI to enhance it, because they'll come to it with a concise question to then get exactly what they're looking for. Versus someone who doesn't have that filter will just ask the AI a blanket question because they don't ask it a good question. And it'll give you an answer. But maybe it's not the correct answer.
It's not the answer you're looking for.
Yeah, it's not the answer you need. It's the answer you asked.
It just went and scanned every single website that popped up in the top 15 of Google searches and just created something based on what those things said, right? Like that's what it does.
Right.
And like I like the using it for generating images. In fact, we used it to generate our logo for the podcast because I have zero graphic design skills. My graphic design skills are anchored in Microsoft Paint from 2000, you know,
Hey,
like
spray paint.
I can't even do that.
you know, like that is that and like just randomly putting shit together in clip art and calling it Photoshop, right? Like, so I'm not able to do that stuff. So I can go in and I can tell it what I want it to look like. And then it can create it. But I'm not going to go and tell it to make me a recipe for brewing beer, right? Like I know how to do that. That'd be lazy for me to go in and be like, hey, I know that this is my job, but can you go and like make this for me? Or, you know, like,
well, is that lazy though? Or are you just using it as
if I went in and
enhance
just said,
your craft?
If I just went in and said, make this thing for me, and then just went off whatever it said, I would call that lazy, right? Like,
True.
You wouldn't know how to make beer.
Yeah.
So, but that question would have no value. For you.
No, but like,
But if you tweaked it,
I feel like that's kind of what we're getting at.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And to your point as well, the
yourself.
CEO of the company I work for, one of them, engineers were getting scared. They're like, "What is AI going to take our jobs?" Or because it already kind of started a little bit. And he just started laughing. No, you know what? We have pilots, right? But planes fly themselves these days. Why do we have pilots?
Oh, I can tell you why we have pilots.
You know why we have pilots?
I can tell you why.
Because you need somebody to know how shit should work. So if shit hits the fan, they're there to pretty much essentially as backup because they know how it works. So in your example,
also are the ones that take off and land.
Well, I mean, and shit hits the fan.
Scott, do you want to chime in on this?
Yes,
Actually,
yeah.
I think you have
Sometimes you're on a flight and you're coming back and you're midair, and the pilot comes on the intercom and says, "Well, folks, we don't have any onboard computer and the autopilot's not working, so we're going back to Miami." Sometimes it's not the worst message to get, but it's also like, what? What? We don't have what, bro? So yeah.
Computer sounds important.
we need him for a couple more years, at least from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Yes.
From firsthand experience.
From firsthand experience. This was like 2 weeks
100%.
ago.
But yeah,
What in the hell?
point being to full circle back to your thing, like, yeah, like you know how to brew beer, but so you can query AI to help enhance your craft and stuff, but you at the end of the day are the one that knows, this is giving me, this won't really work, and I know that because of experience.
But that was like to Asim's point where it's like the type of questions you're asking. Like that question doesn't have any value to the guy who knows how to make beer.
True.
Yeah.
But the guy who's making beer asks some more sophisticated question
100%.
that helps you to enhance or do something different or whatever,
And
or
his
change the way he does it.
And your guys' background knowledge allows you to have the correct filter to then sift through the wrong answer, because that's the issue with the internet. It's too vast. So you can say, how do I lose weight? And you're going to get 15 different ways to lose weight in your first like 3 searches. So it's like, if you don't have the correct filter going into it, it's going to be difficult because you're just going to take everything at face value.
And there's so many wrong answers on the internet.
Absolutely. Anyone could put something on the internet. That's the problem.
True.
So yeah, I think like a good example of like a bad question versus a good question would be like, how do I make a lot of money?
Mhm.
Versus what are the traits of someone who makes a lot of money?
I think that would come back to the same things that we've been saying: tenacity, articulating questions, willing to listen and learn, shutting up. Yeah.
Showing up.
Oh, showing
But also, shutting up.
Shutting up, mate.
Fuck up, rich guy. Hey, rich guy, shut the fuck
Shut
up.
up and listen.
I'm not going to say it. Yeah, well, that might work.
Another interesting thing, I'd consider every guy in this room right now like a successful individual. And Asim and I have talked about it in the past. People have their diet, but also their mental diet. And I'm not surprised at all walking into this place. I'm like, Scott, you're a successful dude. Walking in here and I see Sun Tzu, Art of War on your coffee table and books all around me and stuff like that. Obviously, you're a cultured dude that feeds his mind with a bunch of different sources and stuff like that. And that I definitely think that has some kind of play into where you're at now, sort of thing. Mental diet's important. Even the music you listen to,
The social diet,
diet,
the people
social
you,
diet.
One.
yeah, the people you surround yourself with too, right? Because
That's huge.
if your circle is not people that inspire you and or people that move in the same direction as you, then like,
what are you doing?
It's gonna be tough
because you either ascend or you descend. You don't really stay stagnant. So you're either going up or down. That light switches on or off, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that was the first thing I noticed. The first podcast when you guys brought me on, it was the books in here, and it's like, oh, this guy is constantly trying to download info.
too much.
It's good though.
Yeah, man. I mean, okay, yeah. If you want to follow that thread, it's I don't know, like a thirst for. I was gonna say knowledge. I guess that's it. Which is kind of like to your point on the questions, asking the right questions. Like, how hungry does this person really want knowledge, or do they want to ask a question I can like get like a quick like fix of attention for?
No,
Which again, like I'll hit them with the fix of attention. I'll give them it.
Yeah.
But are we gonna have a real conversation?
but the pursuit of the further understanding is what I think.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, is what I think is going to allow someone to truly ascend beyond. I mean, on a timeline, you put everyone together. I think that person is going to go way further because it also allows them to have a longer shelf life, right? It's like we talked about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivators on the last one, the episode that hasn't been released yet. But it's like, and you said something that blew my mind. I never thought of it this way, which is the ones who last the longest are the ones who are intrinsically or become intrinsically motivated, because extrinsic has a shelf life. It dies. It comes and goes. So I think same thing with this stuff. It's the same kind of a concept for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, on the mental diet thing, like on that, there's definitely like it's very easy to get caught up in the just seeing there's so much shit available to you. You can sit there and just fucking digest it all. But getting it, there's a way, because like I look at social media a lot, but not all the time. But I look at it a lot because I'm trying to see and cut through and see like, all right, I'm trying to accomplish X, Y, and Z thing. Let's find people who are doing that at whatever level. And look through the actual, I mean, you guys talked about like the face value, right? Because you can look at something and be like, oh, this person has this thing and this thing. But like, what did they do? Not what are they doing? What are the things that they are doing? What traits are they, what things are they trying to do? What are they trying to be? What traits do they have? Not what things do they have or what are they showing me? It's all right. How did this person grind to get here? Right? You can sit there and, or what kind of things is this person doing outside of what they're showing us and actually studying like human behavior, right? To see, all right, you can sit there and post pictures of whatever bullshit, but what are you actually doing? Are you, what is the things happening behind the scene? Are you going to the gym every day? Are you, how are you structuring your training? How are you actually structuring your day that you're not showing us? And you can sit there and start to like study these things and like pick up patterns and what people do. And, you can use social media the right way and not just as like some doom scroll, right? Which is very easy to get caught into. Like you can sit there and scroll through because there's shit fucking flashing at you.
You just spend all day window shopping.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You're just window shopping people's lives.
Yeah. But like, if you actually try to, open kind of with your analogy there, try to like open the door, knock on the door and look inside and actually go in and start to really explore it. Cause like you can scroll back all the way in history on their shit, right? You can see where they started. You can see like changes occur. You can start to like see all this shit. It's fucking intense. You can go down some wild rabbit holes when you start doing
Dude,
that.
you just got my brain going crazy because you just said something that Asim and I talked about the other day. And that's even with this podcast, like you guys starting this thing up, people get in analysis paralysis so hard and wait for everything to be perfect before they jump into something. And when you said kind of like scrolling back to the very beginning, think of your favorite, and I said this on a different episode, but think about your favorite like YouTube channel or page you subscribe to or fighter or whoever. Scroll back to the very first post that they have or very first video. Guarantee you it's not as high quality as what they're currently posting right now. And it's because sometimes you just need to kind of go for it.
Well, and you see a lot of these guys, the ones that are the most genuinely successful, like guys who actually are successful because of what they're doing. They're not just showing you some success that isn't like what they're doing isn't why they're successful, right? They're just showing you these things to make it seem like, the fitness influencer that's really got billions of dollars because they sold a tech company, right? Like that guy didn't become, he's just, this is a symptom of why they became rich.
Yeah.
And now they're showing the world, but really like, take for example, there's Ilya Tapuria was rich before he started fighting. Same thing with Arman Sarukian. Like these are just rich guys that are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the hard part with social media is people window shop too much, and they'll look at someone's like current state or their end picture and then try to emulate, or they'll not only try to emulate, but they'll also try to compare against what they're seeing now, rather than looking back at like, oh, Scott's a black belt. I'm not going to be doing Scott shit on the mats right now. What was Scott doing when he was at my part of the journey? And then how do I then, what do I need to do now at this part? And what was he doing now at this part to then eventually get to where he is, So stuff like that. It's like, if you look at a CEO of a company that you admire, don't do what he's doing today. Look at what he was doing when he was at your point.
Yep.
And then do those things. But the issue is people window shop too much and then pass judgment or comparison on that window shopping.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of those guys, you can see they fail over and over and over and over again and keep going and keep going. And then eventually they find the thing that sticks and then they go, all right, this is what I need to be doing. And they're doing that thing. Then that thing stops working. Then they adapt again. So like you can watch these progressions occur. And same thing on the mats, actually, because that's what jiu-jitsu is, right? Keep going, keep trying new things,
Keep
and
showing
find
up.
the thing that works. Keep showing up.
Showing up.
That should be the name of this episode.
Keep showing up.
Just show up.
And the adaptability, you touched on that. Because honestly, whether you're a grappler, a lifter, whatever, anybody having a good day or a good rolling day, whatever, when stuff is good, yeah, it's easy to be good. How about when you're faced with actual adversity? You're facing a tough opponent that you're not used to, or you're having a bad day, your body battery's low, or whatever. The people that have the tenacity to be able to push through that and adapt to it, those are the real people that will be successful, in my mind.
This, I think, is connected to what Asim was saying earlier with like people who ask actual thoughtful questions. And I think the root of it is like, are you really trying to learn? You're really trying to learn here? And the adaptability comes with that, which is also the thing you said with resourcefulness, where someone's like, if they really want something, they really want to learn when they ask that question, like you'll know if it's a thoughtful question or not. And then the ability to, like, if that's in you, like if you really mean it, when you ask whatever the question is, you have to adapt. Right. You're asking it because you feel like you don't have the answer. If you had the answer, you wouldn't ask it. So, yeah. So, like, are you ready for adaptation? Are you ready to take on new resources? Like, you have to have like a mental agility to be able to say, like, fuck, I have to gear shift. I can't continue to do the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I actually don't mean this question I'm asking.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I think on that too, like, I think where people get messed up is when the picture looks different. If they don't understand the principle of what it is they're doing, when the picture looks different, they go deer in headlights and they don't know how to apply because they practiced that specific scenario and that specific position, but they didn't think about the principle of how it works. So it's not adaptable. A good example, completely not related to lifting or jiu-jitsu, is snowboarding. I took one of our employees.
I was not expecting him to say
yeah.
I was like looking at Nate, I'm like, snowboarding.
Yeah. So I took him snowboarding.
Fun fact is
back
the
in
second time we talked about snowboarding.
You're right. Really? Yeah, weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who's a snowboarder here?
We were
Alex was
when we were
she on the last
Alex,
episode.
Yeah,
she's doing a NGA commentary.
Oh, hell yeah.
You were on the groups. Everyone's on the group chat with me.
Yeah.
Group
deep state.
You group. Yeah, dude, it's gotta be the deep state.
The conspiracy.
Of course, it's the deep state. They're trying to jam my communications.
Oh, is it? But no, so I was talking with him, and I brought one of our employees out to Colorado, and it's the first time he's ever seen a mountain of this magnitude. And we're riding. I'm showing him some stuff, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, are you now ready to go to the top?" And he freaked out. He's like, "No, I don't want to do it." And I was like, "Listen, what you don't understand is as long as you understand the principles, you're still making the same turns. The terrain is what's different. If you focus on learning how this principle of riding a snowboard works, you can ride any mountain. But if you focus on riding the mountain, you'll only be able to ride that mountain. So instead of just trying to ride that terrain and stay in your greens and blues, forget the colors. Understand the principle of how this thing works, and we can go anywhere."
And you know what else, dude? It's just a bunch of micro goals.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's
Left
just
and right.
Look at
Left
the
and right.
circle,
I know,
circling
man.
it back,
See how-
Scott.
it's just
This
a bunch
whole
of
thing's a
micro
circle,
goals.
man.
Hey, look, you're getting down the bunny hills. You're getting down on 1 or 2 greens. You go to the top of the mountain. You just got to do that 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Just a couple bunny.
All it is
slopes
like
and some
6
greens.
bunny slopes
So
connected.
in Colorado, that's like 12.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's why it's awesome. It's the
Yeah.
best place to ski in the United States.
Absolutely. But
Utah.
it's the same thing. Utah.
You like Utah, Mo?
I like caffeine, man.
True
I stay in Colorado.
True that. Some craft beers.
You
Hey,
like
some craft beers,
caffeine
buddy.
and alcohol above 3.2%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, at like 6,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it hits different. Colorado's
fuck yeah,
wild.
dude.
Shout out to the Mile High City.
Yes.
Oh,
Ooh. Oh.
you stay there, Cal, dude. Don't say anything.
Oh,
Just drink
Habibi.
coffee. You can think.
We have a surprise guest.
We have a yes.
We have a
Some
watchful
hairy-
eye.
Some hairy monster just walked into my house.
My long lost lover.
Yeah, not so long, not so lost, but he is your lover.
Well,
For sure.
what other questions you got on there for us, Nate?
I actually think we covered everything that I had brought to the table
Yeah.
today.
I think you asked one in a group chat a couple of weeks ago, which was about your employee, like coaches, bringing up coaches and stuff like that. Let me see.
We could do that for probably another 45 minutes. I mean, for real.
Hope you all have a
Developing
long commute.
teammates. Well, yeah.
Should we
Why don't we
make
save
that a
that-
separate
Let's
episode?
save that for another episode. That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
good
developing and building your assistant coaches and teammates.
We can talk about
Who
white
you look-
monsters.
We don't want to.
White
We don't want to.
monsters?
White
Monster.
monster headers. Hey, let me have a quick one,
man.
fun one. How good of a pre-workout is that white monster?
Because the total amount of liquid, it's not as
he
great.
he
you want me-
goes into like the straight,
Do you
like,
want me-
legit answer.
Do you
yeah,
want me?
I
Do
do.
you want me to debate this?
I
Yeah,
do.
we
I
do.
want to know. Let's
And
do
we
it.
will
Let's do
tag
it.
What am I comparing?
The white monster debate.
Good question. What are we comparing?
love
to
this
How about
shit.
this? I'll give you 3.
But fun fact for those who missed out on this great opportunity, we went on for an hour debating Wawa versus Sheets.
You
that
too?
was-
Ooh. Hey, no, we got
Who won?
So
Sheets won.
Nate, it's ongoing. Here's the quick version of that, and I think we should do it on a show.
Okay.
And Caldoon he'll be like he'll serve us the sandwiches.
Oh, is he?
We
Are
can
we
have
gonna
one
do
too.
a blind Wawa versus
yes, we are.
Sheets team?
Yes, we
Fuck
are. And I'll tell you why.
A
because
blind taste test.
Look, where I'm from, Caldoon, were you there when we had this conversation when I was ranting about
You're
this?
from the Sheets, right?
No,
You
hey, dude, we don't have either.
Oh,
Central Kentucky. Sheets stops around like West Virginia.
What you all got out there?
Ah,
do you have
it's
Bucky's?
bi-coastal elite over here.
But see,
No, we don't have
Do you
Bucky's.
have Bucky's?
We might eventually get Bucky's.
Everyone's getting a Bucky's.
For real.
have you seen what they pay their employees, by the way? I'm about to work for
I hear
Bucky's.
it's very good.
Yeah.
Hey, Five Guys, bro. Go
No
work at
secret.
Five Guys.
Because the burgers are $45.
I love those burgers. Well, where I'm from, we don't have like good quality gas station sandwiches. We don't. We have trash quality gas station sandwiches. Shout out to obesity. Like we don't have the concept of like I'm stopping to get gas and like this place also has like a sweet sandwich doesn't exist where I'm from. So when I moved here, all you East Coasters were east of the Appalachians. Y'all are East Coasters, all right?
All right, fair enough.
I mean,
I'll take it.
by
I'll take it.
definition, we are in fact a coastal
you are.
state.
You are. Yes, we are. Well, anyways, so everyone around here has an opinion. Everyone's like, "Oh, I love Wawa, da da da. I like Sheets. I like this. I like that." I'm like, "Dog, I don't eat any of these goddamn sandwiches because I didn't think it was like acceptable food to eat." I'm like, people don't eat.
I feel that.
I mean, by the way, I know I have a lot of books. I don't want to sound like an elitist. I've eaten a lot of trash food in my life. You guys want to talk about the best chicken fingers and the blind chicken finger test one day? I can do that, and the dipping sauces. I got you. I can get grime. All right, but the point is like I
Those
don't
Burger
think
King chicken fingers from like
I
10
could
years
do.
ago.
I remember the chicken fries.
Yeah, the chicken
They were
fries.
chicken
yeah,
fries.
the chicken fries from like what?
Even
8
weirder.
Years ago? Oh my
Even
god.
they're like these aren't fingers. Not the chickens have fingers.
Okay,
But like to me, chicken
Oh.
fingers is like much classier than a chicken fry.
Oh, those
Distinguished
chicken- those
gentleman.
chicken
Yeah, I
fries
only
hit
eat
different.
chicken fingers.
I draw the line at fingers.
The
I don't do
less,
fries.
The less shaping that took place,
Correct.
the better.
The
Yeah.
mush, but yes, I've had them. And I could compare the barbecue sauces amongst Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King.
Who's better?
I think McDonald's has the best.
Why?
Because of the goo.
Interesting.
Because of
The
the
chemical
goo.
goo.
Yeah.
Something about that chemical goo that got into me when I was like a kid. I still think about it.
I think I
You
still
think-
have
do you
some in
think
me
it's
as
because
well.
more
It's their
product
corn
per
starch
scoop?
to sauce ratio.
Well,
Liquid to starch.
They all pretty much have the same plastic form for like scoopability. So like, you know, that's kind of good. You know, they all have like the same access and functionality. It's to me, I really think it's the chemical goo, like something in it, like it's like in my cerebral cortex, and I'm like, man, I like that weird like scientific tang that they add to the barbecue sauce.
And then we scoop it. There's just more product on it.
Maybe it is stickier.
Yeah.
It is gooey.
I mean, it's like
napalm.
jasmine rice is definitely better than basmati, but
Well,
for that reason,
Wait, what?
you get more per scoop. It's less work to eat
more
jasmine.
scoop
Dude,
jasmine?
basmati is such a fucking pain in the ass.
Dude,
to
you're picking
eat.
up 1 grain at a fucking time with basmati.
We're on that
It's too much.
basmati kick right now.
Jasmine's
because
the
that's what they had at the store at the time. And dude,
Dude,
it's so frustrating to eat.
Yeah.
Dude, I got
So-
some
keep it
rice.
sticky.
As a white boy, I don't really feel like I'm like qualified to talk about rice that much. I have my preferences.
Calzoon.
For real,
Stick to your chicken
For real.
tenders.
I've been talking about chicken tenders and ranch dressing, but like for real, like when it comes to rice, I'm like, I think I buy basmati and I like it, or I get jasmine sometimes.
Yeah, I'm on team.
Are they different?
I guess white boy
I'll
with
help
Scott
you.
here.
Don't worry,
I'm not
I
a rice
need that.
expert.
I need
here.
that.
That's
But I have
It's all
hella
about
rice in my
efficiency,
refrigerator.
bro.
I'm about to change everyone's diet now.
All right, last thing on the Wawa thing. So because I actually don't know that I've ever had any one of them, we're gonna get like a side by side. It was Wawa sheets and there was one other, right?
Probably Royal Farms.
No, it was
I mean,
something.
that's
the other
someone,
one.
He's
I
gonna
forget
like
what
their
it was.
chicken.
There
It
was
was another
something.
good one though.
There was another good one. We're gonna do a blind tasting.
What's like the Jersey folks? Do they have something? I don't think it's a Wawa or Sheets.
Jersey
That's too-
folks.
That's too far north for me, bro.
Look at you guys. Here I am driving to Missouri.
I'll stick to
Dude,
good
I was
old
in
Virginia.
Gainesville yesterday. I saw one I never heard of before. I can't even remember what it was. But
What?
It was like a green and white logo. I went to a gas station.
So like a BP?
I don't know, but it was something. It was.
It was called
British-
out BP.
It was.
Yeah, they're the
it
ones
was-
that
it was
messed
fancy
up all
as
the
fuck.
ducks and stuff, man. Stay
Hey,
away
they
from
were
there.
sorry, all right?
by the way, we
They
have
said sorry.
BPs. We have BPs in Kentucky. And like where I'm from, you go there, you get your gas.
Yeah.
It's a gas station. But BP ain't got no sandwiches.
Now, here in Virginia, you got to eat a
And
sandwich
what-
too.
My actual takeaway was like when I
I'm
heard
pretty
how
sure it's
everyone
like
got,
a Maryland and Pennsylvania
It's-
thing, dude.
well, those are regional.
I
those
think
are
it's
regional things.
stretched
No, it goes
into
all the way from
Virginia.
even North Carolina has these. It goes up to like the Northeast, dude. When I drove to New York at the beginning of the year, like I saw all these fucking
Is it
concepts.
Pit stop, Flying J.
There was a couple. There was like one
Flying
other. If
J
you heard it,
does
you would
truck
say,
stop.
yeah, dude. Like this is it is Flying J is a truck stop. But fuck, what was I going to say? Anyway, sandwich related talk. It's just sandwich related
Sandwich talk.
Sandwich talk. Yeah, we go into like
station sandwich.
gas station sandwiches. But like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, here's what it was, which was like I'm impressed by the ingenuity, the entrepreneurship for the people who created these gas station sandwiches. It's like gas isn't enough. Aside from like assorted like weird snacks, like I want to add in actual made sandwiches.
When I'm filling up gas, I have a hankering for.
By the way, dude, because it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Actually makes perfect sense when you think about it. Like you're getting, dude, I do road trips all the time. I usually starve to death. So like, but like, why don't I just stop and get a decent sandwich while I'm at it? It makes perfect.
At the same time.
It's like a
And
kiosk.
then-
You just click the screen, do
Dude,
your
it makes
thing,
perfect
and then
sense.
Make it, yeah, dude. It's,
And then while you're there, you might as well go ahead and top the tank off.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean,
Or
like, if
vice
you
versa,
gotta top the
dude.
tank off. And if you've been driving for like 18 hours, like I'm one motherfucker to do,
Mhm.
you gotta eat. You gotta eat. So
100%.
I'm impressed by the capitalism of it all.
That's smart. We should think about how to
You can get
apply that
gas,
to like.
You can get food and you can get a white monster all in one go. Like, I mean,
Dude, we'll finish on that.
So back
So
to
here's-
the White
here's-
Monster.
Here's your quick side by side. We'll wrap and whatever. White Monster, cup of coffee, and like pre-workout powder. Go
oof. All right. Pre-workout powder, then coffee, and then white monster.
in that order.
In that order.
And that's like 1 to 3.
1 to 3. And this is why. When I'm saying cup of coffee, I'm going with espresso. I'm an espresso guy. Nothing else exists.
Whatever you want. Traditional caffeine.
Yeah. All three
Anything for you.
all three are gonna give you an exit signal to the bathroom. So
Yeah.
that's blanket statement. We can't have that as a comparison.
For that.
Pre-workout at least is gonna give you extra ingredients that are gonna help you with the workout. Arginine, beta alanine,
Like the face itchy
citrulline, all that
stuff.
Yeah,
all that
that's
stuff.
nice.
The
And-
things that make your face feel like a meth head, yeah, for sure. But it's also less liquid. You don't want to be feeling like a water balloon while you're warming up and squatting and doing shit like that. Then you go to coffee, which is a little bit more. It's direct. It's the espresso shots are small, right? 2, 4, 6 ounces. But as long as you don't put milk in there, it's going to be effective caffeine dose. You don't get all the benefits you get from a pre-workout that has all the other stuff, which is also just chemical shit. But you don't have this big ass can of liquid shaking around in your stomach like the White Monster. White Monster is great as like on your way to the gym, but I'd say like right before the gym, I probably wouldn't. Otherwise, just sip on it during the workout. It's just way too much liquid.
You don't
I
like
feel
to
a water-
slosh around during your sets?
Oh, dude, I mean, it might make you brace
hate
better
it.
against that belt.
Is
Sloshing.
the White Monster, does that contain carbonation?
It's got bubbles, right?
Yeah.
Does it have bubbles in it?
By the way, the
It's-
people that drink the energy drinks without carbonation, y'all are weird. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I don't understand. I need the bubbles. But wait, we didn't finish. Who wins? Sheets or Wawa?
But we're not.
I don't know.
We haven't
Oh, you
done
don't
it
know.
yet.
I literally
That's
don't
that's
know.
another.
No, blind taste.
That's
the
the
point
point
of
of the-
No, we went
yeah.
on for an hour. Then we went on to another thing. I asked a question about burgers after that.
Oh, I could
who
do that.
makes the best burgers?
I could do burgers. But then I asked.
Do you like the outside of the bun toast or the inside of the bun toast? I love the inside. That
Inside.
Like,
If you're gonna toast it inside.
yeah, dude, that inside is.
I then tried to my. So by the way, we should do that. We'll do it at your spot. You got a little more space. We'll do a side by side. We'll set up a table. We'll do some sandwiches.
I'll blindfold you.
Yes.
And burgers, burger spots too.
But here's the thing. No, blindfold him because he knows. He knows them. I don't need to blindfold. I've never had any of them. I'll just rank them. But we could do 2 concurrent tests because he has had them. So the blindfold makes sense for the guys. Though. Like you can blindfold me like, I don't know, it tastes like a sandwich and I like it. And you're like, oh, it was Wawa. I'm like, I've never had Wawas. Dude, I'm like, yes. So anyways, food for thought. Hey. Food for thought. Little food for thought. Burgers, I could definitely do, but I want to break them into classes of burgers.
Ooh, I like a tier list.
One or 2 patties.
Oh, 2.
Smash burger.
Cheese in between or cheese on top?
Both.
Facts.
If I have to pick,
Is it
I
really
go
a
in
double
between.
cheese if you don't put cheese on both patties, dude?
Yeah, you got to cheese that bitch up, bro. In
Yeah,
my opinion.
you
cheese
do.
that motherfucker.
Smash patties or no?
I like them. I do like them, but depends on what we're doing, right? Eating experience, love a smash burger. How much protein do I need?
Condiments on top or bottom?
Everywhere.
Mm.
Mhm.
All 3 spots?
I would say so.
Interesting.
I just need to taste it.
Smothered.
Are you?
Just let me taste.
I don't
There's
use
2 types
crazy
of people
ingredients,
as
by the way.
There's 2 types of people. There's those who dip their burgers,
I do both, dude, because I'm a freak.
or do you put it inside?
I do both.
You do both?
I do both because I'm a freak. Yeah, dude, they don't
Crazy.
sauce it enough, man. There's
I-
no place, you know what I'm saying?
I
You
know,
know what I'm
I know
saying.
exactly.
different.
I'm a man after my own heart.
Well, the
All
dip
of it.
ability. See, this is the thing. The dip, you're guaranteed the amount of flavor that you want. You're like, I know how much ketchup, I know how much whatever goo is going to be on the next bite. So
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. So look, if I needed to choose dip, 1,000%.
There we go.
If I had to choose, I was like,
culture.
oh man, where am I going to put them? Like, it's
Alright.
guaranteed. I
The
can measure
toothpick,
it.
the little flag they put in, keep it in, keep it out.
Get rid of it.
My man. Cut it in half or keep it in whole.
Depends on how big the burger is, bro.
Doesn't matter.
Oh fuck. Well, hear me out.
2-hand.
If you have to choose,
How good is the structural integrity of the burger? Because
True.
I don't like
what
it
am
when
I
the,
doing while eating the burger?
What if it falls apart? Well, that's true. You're
Whatever
driving.
you-
Like, I don't. Like,
Yeah.
I love look. I
Eggs
love,
or no eggs?
Depends, man. Honestly, I don't need the egg.
Crispy onions or no?
Raw or fried,
Dude,
not crispy.
Caramelized onions are the shit.
I
The
do like-
haystack
yeah.
onions?
I do like
Like
caramelized
Smash
onions.
Burger used to do?
Hey, look,
Caramelized.
here's the
onions.
only issue with the caramelized onions, right? If they're stripped out and you take a bite, you might pull every onion out in one bite. That
That's
pisses
facts.
me off.
That's why I like those like haystack.
I like them when they're sliced up. I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
or it's like you ever have them with bacon, which I do want bacon on my burger.
And it's like all
You get the whole thing. I'm like,
It's not crispy.
I ate all the
Eggy,
bacon in
eggy.
one bite, dude. I'm fucking upset now. I'm
yeah.
gonna eat a regular burger now for the next 13 bites or whatever it is, plus or minus 2 or 3.
Do you eat your fries first or the burger?
Burger.
There we go.
I like the. I mean,
Really?
I like the fries. Yeah.
Some people, I'm also convinced. There's people who eat their entrees first and those who eat their sides first.
Don't you? I see the burger as the reward. You eat all the BS around it, and then you treat
I
yourself.
see what you mean. That's interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
I see it. I
that
don't
tells
agree
us-
with it.
Tells
but
us
I
a
don't-
lot
I
about
see
you,
it.
Nate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a man that's feel.
Well, you-
I like myself a treat.
This means you're going into it knowing you will eat all of it. Though.
That's true.
True. Look at
yeah,
me. I'm,
yeah. There's
You
a
just don't
difference
order a
there.
big enough burger.
Or enough burgers.
Enough burgers.
So, like, back to
Well,
the
then
core of the
that's-
question.
Yeah,
Back to
never,
the core of the
one
question.
simply doesn't order one.
The French fries travel better than the burger does. Surprisingly, they're a lot easier to reconstitute at home.
When
You
can
know
have
what
a-
I didn't
You
realize?
can have a cold French
You
fry.
can
so-
fucking air fry, re-warm up your food in an air fryer. I never knew that until this week. I've been microwaving everything.
You can do anything.
I never.
You're a
air fryers
savage.
rock.
That's why I don't
You
food
can-
prep.
you can do
Some sort of microwaving savage.
By the way,
Doggy as fuck.
Just
Yeah.
speaking of like fitness stuff and sauce and whatever food in general, you know what cracks me up all the time? I see people that are like, "Oh, I'm eating healthy. I'll just take a salad." Okay, and then they proceed to put a quart of ranch on it or something.
And then
that,
drink down it with a soda.
yeah, sauces.
Yeah.
People sleep on how not great sauces can be. for
Dude,
you.
one packet of Chick-fil-A sauce is 145 fucking
I know.
calories.
I learned that actually 2 days
You literally
ago.
just
Oh,
you just
boy,
get rid
is
of
it good,
two.
though.
You just get rid of it's good.
he's
You get
not
rid
wrong.
of just 2 packets and you're already in a caloric deficit to lose weight. Imagine that. All you gotta do is get rid of 2 packets a day and you're fucking losing weight.
Yeah, but what's
That's
the point of having
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A
you
without that
sauce
sauce?
demon.
I am a sauce demon.
I'm a sauce demon.
Because I don't eat that stuff that often, but when I do, I do.
Chick-fil-A. Did you
Big
see what
time.
they just did with their grilled nuggets?
No, what
30,
they do?
30
Grilled?
grilled nuggets, 30-piece grilled nuggets, 98 grams of protein. I'm not sponsored, but
Should be.
I'm open to it. 98 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat, 0 carbs, 30-piece nuggets.
And not available on
510 calories.
Sundays.
Was it?
And not available on Sundays.
Yeah,
Not available on Sundays.
That's kind of tough.
All right.
Yeah,
so
that's tough.
this is something we're going to discuss off air. But
Oh.
bring that up because that is I have a bone to pick.
It's like
with
a
that.
Christianity thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
On next episode,
We're
this one
never
gets
gonna-
canceled.
Yeah, I mean, if it were me, I'd open that shit up on Sundays.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Well,
1000%.
Sundays are volunteer work days.
But what work is
allegedly.
being done?
But now that I'm
That's
gonna,
like
we're now
corporate.
toppling the
I
corporate.
saw this guy hide behind, and actually he got me. I went to a Chick-fil-A on Sunday. I completely forgot about it. There was a dude fucking hiding behind the intercom thing, like, yeah, can I take your order?
That is
And I gave my whole order, and he just pops out, starts cracking up behind me, and I wasn't even mad at him. I started laughing too. I'm like, you are clever, dude.
You're like, that's on me, bro. I should
I
have
was like,
known.
yeah, you are good.
That voice is so clear.
It's a weird prank, but you could tell that dude's thought that there was like enough people are gonna come through there. This will keep me entertained.
I'm probably on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah. You're like, oh fuck yeah, dude. All right, perfect. You guys are open, huh? All right.
Yeah, right.
Dude's like,
48 nuggets.
world star.
World star.
But okay, so a burger, a quick side by side on burger, definitely Five Guys stacked up against in our area. All About Burger.
Never heard of
Have you had it?
Mm-mm.
It's basically the
neither.
same concept.
What did I have last time? What was that?
Ooh, you have Five Guys? It might have been all. I think it was All About Burger.
Five Guys is a Arlington staple, dude.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it started in Arlington. Shout out to Five Guys.
Did it start in Arlington?
It did.
I had no idea.
South
Really?
Arlington, right off Route 7.
Is that why the burgers are like 25 a pop? You rich.
Well, no,
It's all starting to make sense.
that used to be a very cheap part of Arlington.
I mean, look, this is that's called fast casual.
Same with
What's
Shake
Elevation.
Shack or Five Guys?
Oh, Five Guys.
Five Guys.
1000%.
In and Out or Shake Shack?
Five. Oh, In and Out or Shake
Five Guys.
Five Guys.
No,
Five Guys. It's
Monster or Ghost Energy Drink? Five Guys.
Five Guys. You said Shake Shack or In and Out?
Yeah.
I'll go In and Out over Shake Shack.
Novelty or actual? It's actually better. Bless you, Khaldun.
Wow.
Bless you. Hey, keep it down.
Wowza.
You're
not
It's a
onto
little
that.
bit of
That was a
both.
man's
It's a little.
sneeze.
It's a little bit of both,
Yeah.
but I do think it's better.
Okay.
And because I don't get it enough, because we don't really have any others,
Novelty,
I guess you could call that novelty. I like Shake Shack. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's that good. I think it's a little too
When-
greasy.
It's
When they
so
first brought up-
overhyped, bro.
Yeah, when they first brought it to Tyson's, I loved it. Now,
Look,
Five Guys is definitely.
it's better than fast food, but it's not Five Guys. It's not Five Guys.
We
but it
should
still
go
has a-
Five Guys after this.
Let's
you
do
should.
the
Actually, I have to go
the
get my
battle of
car
the
so I don't
DMV.
get
All
towed.
right. We'll wrap.
They won't tell you. They'll just
They'll
ticket
just
you.
those tickets.
Oh, just a ticket?
It'll
Just
just be
write
like
you a letter.
hey,
Oh, whatever.
They write you a
We'll
nice
keep it
little
rolling,
welcome
boys.
Well,
It's just a
but-
ticket, bro.
Welcome to Arlington.
Do you have the app?
Huh? No.
Thank you for
No.
visiting our fine township.
Mike has the app. We'll take care of the app.
All right, all right. We'll
buddy,
worry about
they'll,
that.
they'll charge you $60. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
It's worth it
For the boys.
We're having
This guy's-
fun.
yeah. Money well spent. But yeah, I think it just it sits in between the two because it costs less too. The price point is less than a Five Guys, and therefore, in my opinion, quality isn't quite there. But it's better than like a Wendy's. It's better than a McDonald's. It's better than a Burger King. So it's like sits between the two. The fast casual, which is like, I mean, those Five Guys patties are made to order, guys.
Mm.
It's almost not even fast
Right in
food. In
front
my
of
opinion,
us.
I don't consider it fast food.
I don't think it's fast food.
It's not fast food.
Oh no.
Burger Shack. Is Burger Shack still around?
Burger Shack
Burger
is still
Shack.
around. They're still there.
Which
Yeah,
one's
that
Burger
was-
Shack?
They're
That
in,
was the-
is that still Chantilly?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is that
right
still-
off Route
right?
50. They took
Yeah.
over the old Quiznos
Yeah.
and that old
That
chimney.
spot was so good.
Yeah,
It-
dude, it was.
Burger Shack's still there. Still solid.
They had Texas toast that was like 4 billion
You
calories.
know what? I
but it was
bet you they're
amazing.
open on Sundays.
Oh, they're absolutely open on Sundays.
Seems thinking patties. He's like, what patties am I getting? No
Right there off
doubt.
Route 50. Route 29? 29. 50?
50.
Is it still the same thing at that point?
Probably.
Question.
I mean, dude, it changes so many times
Dude,
depending
I
on
don't
where you are.
remember.
Does the route numbers change as they drive?
They combine.
They
They
do.
combine and
becomes Arlington
separate.
Boulevard, which becomes what?
you all need.
No,
Yeah,
not
they
Redwood,
they combine and separate multiple times.
Come on, road makers.
It's
Yeah, I'll leave that to you, Virginia nerds, to figure.
Oh, dude, they combine so many
You guys
roads.
work that
Back
out.
to Kentucky
Talk
with you.
amongst yourself.
I was gonna say, does Kentucky have one road?
We have a consistent
Doug.
name for road. Road keeps name. I mean, it might like when you get into like a town, they'll be like, "This is Nicholasville Road," but it's like Route 60 or something. It's the same route, but it just like takes on a little localized thing. It
Howdy.
doesn't merge and get weird. I don't think it does. I can't speak for all the.
It starts to
Yeah.
around here. It breaks up into like this will be 2950, and then over here is 29 business, and then you have 29.
Yeah, our
local.
streets have like nicknames and shit out here.
Oh yeah, and then every 29 has a different name in every county.
Old. Yeah, I don't even know.
Braddock,
I
Old
got
Braddock,
nothing.
new Braddock.
The real
Yeah.
the real
Baby
battle
Braddock.
of the DC Metro burger chains though is Five Guys versus Elevation Burger.
Five Guys.
Never had
I like-
Elevation
I like
is more of a
Elevation.
smash burger. I guess more smashed in my opinion.
But
So-
they're both kind of like they came out around the same time.
I
They're
feel like
both
Five Guys gives you
born
more
here.
food.
Dude, Five Guys is fucking fire.
Yeah, it gives you so much more food.
Elevation for sure.
And
it
as a
does.
Virginia
No,
boy,
side by side.
It's like Chipotle versus Cava. Like Cava gives you more food. Chipotle just steals food from you.
Yeah.
100%.
How do you guys feel
Those
when
foods
someone
have definitely got small?
asks you, how do you want your burger cooked? I always look at them weird. Like, first off, I know it's about to be expensive.
I want it cooked
Second,
from-
I'm like, what do you mean, dude? It's hamburger meat.
It's gonna
Well
come
done.
out, it's not going to come out how you request.
Oh, so now hold
It's
on.
gonna come out-
No, I get it well done because, bro, I'm not trying to get a worm. It's ground beef.
I go medium.
Not a big worm guy.
I go medium. on
I
the
just tell
burger.
them,
Medium.
however you guys normally do it that way.
Make it good.
Really?
Yeah.
Whatever
I just-
the right way that like
Whatever
it definitely
was meant to
depends on
be.
the place.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like medium rare.
I want mine looking like a hockey puck. Bake all the worms out of that. That's how I do it.
So
And then I sauce it up.
Sauce it.
it's not the worms you have to worry about. It's it's sitting out as they're grinding all that because it's just
He doesn't
it's
wanna
the
worry about any
trimmings,
of it.
and they're grinding all that
You
shit.
just burn it all off.
Burn it all.
Yeah.
Burn it all.
If those worms were in there, they're in that
Pretty cool.
steak too. That shit
If
got
they're in
trimmed
there,
off
they
of.
ain't happy.
That's
Nothing like-
that steak that was sitting next to it has those worms too.
Nothing
man.
like a cooked worm in your burger.
Yeah.
Earth
Extra gains.
earthworms.
Earthworms. All right.
Any other fast food battle, fast cash battles?
Who makes the best French fries?
Oh, the best French fries.
All right. Steak
I
fries.
like this too. This is kind
Curly
of like
fries,
a two-parter here.
wedge
Arby's has some good
or
curly
regular
fries.
traditional fries.
I think regular
Shoestrings. Do we have shoestrings in there?
Shoestrings are okay, but it's like you want, like with the fries, you want to have that crunchy exterior or like some sort of flavored exterior. Like Five Guys isn't always crunchy, but it's
Like Red
gassed in
Robin
it.
has like those like steak fries.
Yep.
They're just soggy in the middle but crispy on
You
the
can-
outside.
you can bite-
I don't like those.
You can bite too much into potato because potato gets dry and boring fast.
Yeah.
But we do have sauce. So, but I mean, I think a regular fry because shoestring is a little bit too light, where it just starts to taste like you're just biting into crunchy fried.
Yeah.
Where you're biting into crunch.
You really are,
No
and
taste.
like there's no potato. I don't need a ton of potato. Potatoes don't have that much flavor. They're a vehicle for flavor,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Ooh, kind of like
100%.
mushrooms.
Kind of like mushrooms.
Mushrooms
Tell
are
us more.
I'm talking portobello, not whatever y'all
He's
are
talking
thinking.
shiitake.
I'm talking shiitake, guys.
Nice baby Bella.
mushrooms are like a sponge, dude. You throw just cook
Sponge
that
of
shit in
flavor.
I like mushrooms,
So
dude. I think
good.
they
I
they
love it.
Mushrooms and
sauteed
steak?
mushroom.
Yeah.
I like them.
hmm
That's good.
I like.
I did go camping, and I was gutsy enough to think I knew what chicken of the woods looked like, and I ate it. And
You ate some shit off the ground.
I ate. Well, it was off of like a dead log.
You're like, this is
I'm still
obvious.
here. I'm still here, but it messed me up. Don't eat mushrooms in the woods, guys.
Yeah,
Make
right,
sure,
right.
yeah, really study your mushrooms.
All right, that's a good way to end it. I like
Yeah.
that. Okay. Just- so that one really
That
settles
should be
in.
the title.
That actually could be the title.
Don't eat
That doesn't
mushrooms
have
in the
to be.
woods.
It'll just confuse them. They'll be like, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
Just remember,
Listen,
guys,
listen
don't
and-
eat
No, that's a
mushrooms
hook.
in the woods.
That is a good
Mush-
hook.
Yeah.
Nate Craig.
Portobello. I'm not. All right.
We should seriously consider making it "Don't eat mushrooms in the woods."
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm
that'll,
not kidding.
that'll
That'd be
draw
so
them in.
funny.
I like that title.
Cool. Oh, yeah. So thank you guys for listening to Fighters Drinking Coffee. And thank you to Nate Craig and Asim Faez for coming out once again. And, in the words of Nate Craig, don't eat mushrooms in the woods. As always, like, follow, subscribe, drop those 5-star reviews on whatever podcast app you are listening on. It really helps us with the algorithm, gets us up to the top, helps move us up the charts, gets in front of more people. Hop on the Discord. You can click that link in the show notes. We have fixed it. We found out there was an issue with it at one point. I figured out how to fix that, make it a permanent link. So we're good to go there. Instagram at Fighters Drinking Coffee. Follow us on there. Where can they find you guys?
You can find me on Instagram at nfcraig_.
You can find me on Instagram at Asim_NVBC.
And check out our YouTube channel as well. It's just Nova Barbell Club.
And then on Spotify, The Strong AF Club.
We'll tag you guys in all that
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll get all those tags in there. So yeah, awesome. Bye.
Thanks for having us back, guys. See ya.
Boy. Y'all want to do something with this thing?